This is the SimHanger channel. My name's Mark and a warm welcome. Orbx, one of the dominant scenery developers for flight sims, has announced a new release for Microsoft Flight Simulator, and it's attractively priced at about £11 or $15 US. It's NZ Mesh alternative elevation data for New Zealand. However, being attractively priced as it is, I'm not totally sold on what you get for your money. Not at this stage anyway. But we'll come back to that later. This product features high-resolution 10-meter digital elevation model data. The digital elevation model, or DEM for short, determines the bumps, dips and flat areas within the scenery. What we mean by a 10-meter DEM, if we have a look at this graphic representation where the lines intersect, elevation data has been captured. In essence, every 10 meters vertically and horizontally. A 5-meter DEM, for example, would produce more detail. It doesn't change the graphics, just the height and width of various objects, etc. This Orbx terrain information lies on top of the existing data and doesn't change any of the core files. This is different to how they've done it with other sims and is part of their new proprietary approach for custom terrain meshes for this sim. One interesting aspect of this new approach is that it's been compiled to reduce the level of detail morphing. Level of detail morphing, well, we've all seen that as we get closer or further away from a particular mountain or piece of terrain, where we see certain parts changing. Some people refer to it as scenery popping. If we take a look at this clip, we'll be able to see a little bit of morphing every now and again. This is default New Zealand scenery. However, the level of morphing or popping in Microsoft Flight Simulator is far less than what we're used to in, say, Prepared, for example, and to a much lesser extent X-Plane as well, and obviously most noticeable while doing some low VFR flying. If you're flying high, better scenery popping is inconsequential. That said, however, New Zealand scenery, particularly the South Island, well, it's immense and awe-inspiring. Perfect for your VFR adventure. Orbx say that the performance impact with this overlay mesh data is nominal, minimal at best, and that they have further planned updates to improve the mesh data with a DEM of up to 1 meter. That's up to potentially 10 times the detail. So having said all that, what's my beef with this release? I'm not against the improvement in the terrain modeling. But at a DEM of 10 meters, well, this is a nominal improvement at best. I'm not sure what the LOD is for Microsoft Flight Simulator, but it's not far off the 10 mark itself. And when I look at the comparisons provided by Orbx themselves, well, it's a nominal difference. So nominal, in fact, it's hardly going to make any visual difference when you're flying. Had they released this package with a 1 or 2 meter DEM, well, that would have been a different story. But of course, that's my personal opinion. I'd like to know what you think. I've included 6 examples here for you to have a look at and for you to make up your own mind. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm assuming as Orbx have released this using a new system, the impact of world and sim updates will not affect this mesh. But for me it does raise a question with regards to what happens when New Zealand gets a makeover. Well, I simply don't have an answer to that question, to be honest, and only time will tell. What I am saying, however, and again it's a personal opinion, different simmers have different requirements and expectations, is I'm not totally clear on why Orbx have released this with a 10 DEM, with a promise of future improvements. It's almost as if it's an early access, an experiment as Orbx tests the market for mesh options. Orbx's rise to dominance was built in other sims, in improvements to the very core and foundation of those sims, certainly from a graphical point of view. But I remain skeptical as to the application and practicality in this particular case. So will I be adding the New Zealand mesh to my Orbx stable? Well, no I'm not. Not at this point. Not until such time as we get a better DEM, at least 4 or 5, and preferably a 1 or 2, as they've stated. At that point, I'll reconsider. Until then, my money's staying in my wallet. Thank you very much for joining me today. Stay safe, look after yourselves, and as always, bye for now and see you soon.